Hello everyone, I am getting sober again, and in this video I'm going to talk about, let's see, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about what made me feel better. In the previous video I was wearing gloves. In this one I'm not because I'm warm now. So in that video I talked about how long will it take to start feeling better. In this one I'm just going to quickly talk about what made me feel better. And feel better from what? From drinking and other stuff. So I drank for a long time, for 10 years or more, and it was just a daily coping mechanism. I mean, I looked forward to drinking. I work in a bar, restaurant. I have, in between photography and other gigs, I've always worked at a restaurant. I've always worked weekends. I've always been surrounded by alcohol. I've always been surrounded by people drinking alcohol and having a good time. It's just part of that particular industry, and not everybody that works in a restaurant drinks alcohol or does drugs, but it's a thing. So with that being said, I just want to talk about what made me feel better while I was going cold turkey. So some of you may know, well, during this video, this is day 10 of me going cold turkey. And what made me feel better was a couple of things. So first of all, I guess, is knowing that I made the decision. And I was transparent with my friends and my family members and coworkers and other people around me, just saying like, hey, I'm not drinking. And I'm not drinking until a certain time, so don't even try tempting me. And for the most part, people are pretty good about it, you know, unless there is the thing that misery loves company, and there are people that are also in the bottom part of their journey and just waiting to make a better decision. And so that's something that I hope to be able to do for you in this video, is to help you make a better decision for yourself. But then also too, maybe you can inspire some of your friends to make a better decision. So that makes me feel better, right? I always preach that you have to be able to replace, not just quit. Quitting sucks and quitting is hard. But replacing is easier and better. So like, let's say if we were quitting pizza and fries and burgers and hot dogs and tacos. Well, we can't just quit those things. I mean, we can, but we would be replacing those things, and you'd say like, well, yeah, duh, I'm not gonna stop eating. Well, why is this any different? Replacing is going to be a big factor in all of this. So what are we going to do to replace the time of being in the pub or being in the bar? What are you going to do? What is your answer? What are you going to do? Read? What are you going to do? Catch up on some projects that you've been wanting to? Are you going to spend some more time with your friends and family? Sober? You're going to start checking out that library? You're going to catch up on some of your Netflix programs that you haven't caught up on in a couple of seasons? What is it that you're going to do? So replacing made me feel better, and what we're doing right now, this is part of my replacing process. So going online made me feel better with my story. This makes me feel better to know that you are potentially commenting down below, and we're building up a dialogue, knowing that I'm helping you and you're helping me. That makes me feel better. But physically, we're going to talk about physical things that made me feel better and emotional things that made me feel better. Mental health is absolutely 100% a big part of all of this. The amount of anxiety and depression that you feel is something that is worth mentioning, and if you only focused on those two things, that would absolutely be worth it. If we just did it just to feel better mentally and emotionally, that is absolutely worth it. But I wanted to go deeper than that, so I'm in the replacement part of it. I'm also going to the gym. I've been going to the gym sometimes twice a day, and we have a new Planet Fitness where I live So there's a few, and I know that Planet Fitness is like a beginner's gym, but it's a really nice beginner's gym. I just switched over from LA Fitness. I went back to Planet Fitness after going to LA Fitness. They just built a new one by my house, and a Planet Fitness. And it's really nice. I really like it. So shout out to Planet Fitness. Not that I'm associated with them at all, because, you know, see below, there's nothing about Planet Fitness, but if you want to join, it's only $10 a month for the bare bone membership, and you get free training with it. So I also like to, what makes me feel better is just doing some stuff radically different, which I've never done personal training. I've been exercising and working out pretty regularly for the last, I don't know, 10 years or more. That was always a thing that I knew that if I was gonna get off of booze and anything else, cigarettes, whatever else, I needed to have some healthy options, some healthy habits. So I started making healthy habits, and it doesn't take everybody 10 years or more. I just started that a long time ago. It was kind of like that bartering tool. Like for me, if I was gonna have, say, like 6 slices of pizza, I was also too gonna like ride my bike 10 miles or 20 miles or whatever the case was. I also was unemployed during those times, so I didn't, you know, I had a lot of free time to ride my bike that far. But I knew that if I was gonna eat like shit, then I was gonna work out to balance it out. And then also too, if I was gonna drink and be going out to nightclubs and bars and all that stuff, that I should also too make sure that I eat healthy to balance that out, because why just poison myself when I can poison myself and then also eat right? So making sure that I stay hydrated is the first thing that physically made me feel a lot better. So making sure that I'm drinking water, I guess, before bed to balance out all the water that I lost, that started making me feel better. But I want to focus more so on, now let's pretend that you are cold turkey and you're clean and you're trying to get past the first just couple of days in the first week. I always start the day with at least 16 ounces of water. I have a water bottle that is 32 ounces, and I fill it up before I go to bed, so that when I wake up, I immediately, the second I sit up, I grab my bottle and I drink 16 ounces immediately. I set that bottle down, I turn around, I make my bed. And then I grab my bottle, and then I walk downstairs and I finish up some basic chores like doing the dishes, right? So I do the dishes, I finish the other 16 ounces of my water, and all of a sudden I already have 32 ounces of water in my body. You would say, maybe how much water can I drink, or how much water should I drink in a day? It's a very simple conversion method. So you take however much you weigh. Let's say you weigh 200 pounds. Well, you would want to have half of that in ounces. So if you weigh 200, you want to have 100 ounces of water in a day. Not all at once, because you must remember some basic rules, which is your kidneys can only filter out 28 to 32 ounces of water per hour. I'll say that one more time, maybe write it down. 28 to 32 ounces of water per hour. All right? Some of it your body will absorb and use, some of it, a lot of it is just gonna be peed out. And there's nothing wrong with peeing, because there's only a few methods, only but what, 4 methods that your body can, that your body uses to get rid of waste, which is urination, defecation, vomiting, and sweat. One of those you don't wanna do, which is vomiting, unless it's an emergency. So we're gonna do the other 3. Urination, defecation, sweating. Ugh, that one's hard to get up. So if you're doing those 3 things, that's gonna be another thing that'll make you feel a lot better. The sooner the better, right? So in the last video I talked about when you can start to feel better. Day 3 was usually the big day. And then once I got to day 3, momentum really started to carry me from there. And then once I get to day 4 and 5, I'm feeling pretty good. And then if you can get to the end of the first week, you're gonna feel even better. If you can get to 2 weeks, I say strive for 2 weeks. If you can get to 2 weeks, you're done. You're done. You don't need to be drinking anymore. It only takes, what do they say, 21 days to form a new habit. You're already 3/4 of the way there. And the only prerequisite that you need To quit drinking is to quit drinking. You just stop doing it. That's literally all you do. You just stop doing it. You don't go to a happy hour. You don't put yourself in a ridiculous situation. You don't go out to the club. You don't buy a bottle of booze. You don't bring home a 6-pack because it was on sale. You don't indulge if your spouse is offering. Well, they shouldn't be offering anyway because you were already transparent with them in the first place, right? But physically, let's talk about some things that made me feel better. You did damage. You've been doing damage to yourself. Let's say, just for me, for example, I drank, let's just call it 10 years. If I drank for 10 years, I don't know how many things I did for 10 years. But drinking's one of them. I mean, I didn't drink for the whole 10 years, but I'd say maybe if I averaged one drink a day, and some days I drink more than one drink. Some days, my worst day was drinking a whole bottle to myself. And I know some of you have worse stories than that. This is not a competition. But my worst, that's like 20 units of alcohol. 20 units of alcohol in one day. So that alone took care of me for almost 1 month, having one bottle in one day, right? So what are we gonna do to help restore and rebuild all of this? Your body is always cycling off old blood cells and, old cells, and you're building new cells. That's constantly happening. You essentially become a brand new person every couple of weeks. Not a couple of weeks, but every couple of months. You're constantly in a state of rebuilding. And if, let's say you're building a house, and you started that house, nice brick and mortar, nice solid foundation, and then, as you start breaking down some of your walls, you replace the brick with some wood. And that's still strong, still good, and then some of that wood starts going, and then you're putting up some wood, and then you're just kind of ignoring some of the fundamentals of foundation work, and then you're putting up drywall now instead of brick, and then you say, well, I'll insulate it, and then you insulate it, and it's all nice, it's got a nice siding on the outside, but still not brick. And then you start tearing that down, and then you're replacing the walls with more drywall, sort of, and then now you're not even doing the insulation. It just gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and that's what's happening to your bodies. Your body is constantly trying to heal, and it's trying to get better. It's always in a state of repair. It's always in a state of rebuilding. But what you put into it depends on you, right? That sounds obvious. Liquid vitamins. We must put vitamins and minerals and nutrients into your body. What is the best way to get the vitamins and minerals and nutrients? Is from your food. If you can get it naturally, get it naturally. Eat your vegetables. Eat your your fruits. Have your kales, your spinaches, your quinoa, your chia seeds, your flax seeds. Have your supplements like your fish oil. Fish oil, very, very important for your brain, for your cognitive function, and heart health. 2 major things that get affected by drinking: cognitive decline and your heart health. We've got to keep those things healthy. Those are like the main 2. But there's a bunch of other stuff too that can go wrong, and we want to make sure that we're going to keep ourselves healthy. So our vitamin B is probably depleted. Our vitamin D that level needs to be sustained so that we can have just general overall happiness, right? We want to be able to have adequate amounts of serotonin at night so that when we go to sleep, we stay asleep and we have that feel-good hormone, right? Or have that feel-good hormone throughout the day. So another supplement that I take right before bed, I take a dropper or 2 of melatonin. And it really does help, honestly. I was genuinely surprised how well it worked. And, this is coming from somebody who had drank themselves silly. I would take things like Xanax to get to sleep. And that works. I guess I've never messed around with opiates, but I imagine heroin probably works fantastic. I don't know. Percocets, Oxycontins, things like that. Again, I've never messed with any of those. I'm actually I can't have codeine, so that really worked out for me. I lucked out there. But smoking marijuana. And it works, but I don't really want to do that. So melatonin is a natural supplement that you could take. I have that about an hour before I want to go to bed, and actually helps me to stay asleep. And coupled with not having poison in my body and not constantly being in the state of not even repair, but like also just flushing out toxins. When you keep your body in that loop, it's just really hard to recover, isn't it? It's just really hard to rebuild, isn't it? It's like you're in a boat that's treading water and you're constantly pouring a bucket of water out. Meanwhile, your shipmate is drilling a new hole in it. And it's just like, what are we doing? You're patching up one hole and then somebody's creating another one. And that's essentially what you're doing. And you're just kind of staying even at best. And for the most part, you might have a comparatively speaking good day when you feel all right after you put yourself in a state of a massive hangover. It's really easy to feel better, comparatively speaking, after a hangover, after you recover from a hangover. That's terrible. That doesn't mean that you're feeling better. That just means you're getting closer to feeling back to normal. But I will definitely tell you that after a couple of weeks, this is not the first time I've quit. I've quit a bunch of times, but this time around, I feel very, very, very thankful that I feel a lot of energy. Today, I've barely yawned. I mean, that was something that really just kind of crippled me. Just the lethargic nature of the recovery and the rebuilding. And even though I was drinking, I was still taking supplements, but I would find myself just asking, like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of even taking these? Because I still feel like shit. And you will still feel like shit. And it's the best case scenarios, you don't feel absolutely horrible and you don't maybe go to the hospital any sooner than you should. But you just feel like shit and you're just tired and you don't look good and you have anxiety every day and you're depressed because alcohol is a depressant. Do yourself the service. Get yourself some good vitamins, some liquid vitamins so that your body can so that they can be made there's more bioavailability. You'll be able to absorb them quicker. You have a more better balance of vitamins and minerals. Hopefully you get something that has vitamins and minerals in it, not just vitamins. Get your vitamins and your minerals and nutrients as much as you can from the foods that you eat. Have yourself a better sleep routine. They say that the best hours of sleep are between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. That is when your body is, that's when you're doing all of your rebuilding. That's when your mind is cataloging all of your day's events. That's when you're gonna get the most regenerative, most restorative sleep is between 10 a.m. and 4. And I know that you can't all do it. You all work different shifts. I myself sometimes don't get out of work till 2 o'clock in the morning. Does that change the fact that I could still get 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep? Nope. I could definitely still get 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep. And I work in a very stressful, kind of fast-paced job. I work at a restaurant, so it's just constantly boom, 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 another table, another order. Somebody else needs something. Somebody else is mad. Something's going on in the kitchen. And more people are coming in the door. Some table just got up. Another table's sitting down. And it's just nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. So in that environment, all I want to do is chain smoke and do shots. And then if I don't do that, which I'm not doing that currently, I come home and you think I'm ready to go straight to sleep? No, because I've just been constantly wired to be performing mentally and physically. So I get we're all in different situations. But if you comment below, we can talk about it. We can make some suggestions and we can come to some better conclusions together. I can help you figure out some food items and some drinks. I like to make a nice fresh ginger, chopped, smashed, chopped, diced ginger with turmeric tea. So it's a ginger turmeric tea with some cayenne, some local honey. Local honey is very important because you are of your area. It really helps with allergies. Was one of the big points. So local honey, so your local bees on your local wildflowers, getting that pollen, getting that honey from that pollen, those bees, is more important than getting, say, a raw organic honey from Brazil, which I like getting, but I don't see any of the health benefits from it. So if you want to feel better, Step one, just make sure you're getting an adequate amount of actual rest. Don't give yourself so like, well, I can't sleep, I'm an insomniac. Well, why? What's going on? Did you have coffee after 5 o'clock at night or something? What was it? Did you have some caffeine later in the day? Did you have sweets? Do you have cookies and cake and sugary items before bed? Were you looking at, are you watching YouTube without the comfort view or the yellow light or the filter? Are you just looking at your cellular device or your tablet or your TV without a nighttime filter? That the blue light is gonna mess up, it's gonna affect your brain and keep you awake. It's gonna keep you from hitting that deep REM sleep and getting that deep quality restorative sleep. That's what we need. We need to make sure that we're building that serotonin while we're asleep, that we're hitting REM and not waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because we chugged water at the end of the night, and now we're going to wake up 2 hours later and have to go to the bathroom and then break our REM cycle and then try to get back into it. Make sure you're getting the right amount of sleep. Make sure that you're hydrating as soon as you wake up. Make sure that you're taking your supplements, your vitamins, your minerals, your nutrients, and your fish oil. That's another big one. Vitamin D, fish oil, multivitamins, and probiotics. Really important that you start putting those into your body. We need to start rebuilding our foundation. And again, none of this stuff is down there. There are no links to buy anything. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just giving you some sound advice. This is just what worked for me, and I know it's worked for other people. I watched a bunch of videos before I made this video. I read a bunch of online articles. I'm not a book reader, but read a bunch of online articles to make sure that this information was helpful for myself so that I could test it so I can be of service to you. So go ahead and try those things. Also, please, please, please work exercise into your routine. I know exercise kind of sucks, but after a couple of days and after a couple of weeks, it feels great. And when you're ready to get to bed, you are ready to get to bed. After a day of going to work and going to the gym and eating clean, when your day is done, you just end the day and you feel like you earned that sleep. And when your head hits the pillow, you are done. If you're gonna read a book. Don't read on your tablet. Don't read on a Kindle. Don't read on anything that emits blue light. Don't read at your laptop before you go to bed. Don't watch TV right before bed. Don't watch TV while you're in bed. Keep electronics out of your bedroom. That's another suggestion too. Keep the electronics out of your bedroom. If your phone is recharging in your bedroom, put it on airplane mode. Keep it away from your head. All that stuff is scientifically proven to affect your quality of sleep. So work on your sleep, work on your vitamins, work on your food, and work out, please. Try that, no caffeine after lunch, and I think you're gonna be feeling pretty good in no time. Make sure you comment below, and then subscribe, because I'm asking you nicely. And also too, why would you wanna subscribe? It's because we can stay up to date on all this stuff. And if you wanna do that even better, just hit the little bell. Hit the alert icon, the little bell next to the subscribe button, so that you can get updated as to when I'm putting out new videos, which is gonna be quite often. All right, so that's all for now. Good luck to you. Talk to you later.